by Just Beat It, and today I'm back with another tutorial from our new DIY jewelry kits. So this is one of my favorites. I'm sure I say that every single time, right? But if you know anything about me, you know I like a little bling or a lot, and that's what we're doing today. So let's see what's inside. Of course it's falling down, but today we are making one of the bracelets from our brand new Uptown Charmers Collection. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. This is Midnight Soirée. It's my favorite. There are 5, but hey, since I'm doing the tutorial, I get to pick. So this is the one we're making. Look how pretty she is. Of course, I'm putting it on. And of course, this is not what your kit is going to look like, but we'll show you that in just a moment. They were all designed by Cindy, of course, the owner of Just Beat It in Marshall, Michigan. That's where we're at right now at our annex filming. And look at her. Like, hello. Oh my gosh. I do not have all 5 and I wish I did, but I will be sure and show you. Of course, yours is not going to look like this when you receive it. Your box will come like this with all the components to make this beauty at home. You're going to get all the beads. You're going to get everything you need, the head pins, the jump rings, some extras just in case, or if you want to make another charm, and of course the bracelet. And here's one of the things that I love about this. You're getting some facts. This is a vintage bracelet from the 70s. It seems crazy to say the 70s is vintage because that's when I was born, in the 70s, but vintage 70s chain bracelet. So it's incredible quality, and same goes for the beads. Not vintage 70s necessarily, but very limited quantities on most of them. And so you can either follow this exactly, or you can, you know, make it however you want, add to it, do anything like that. Just so you know, for each one of the Uptown Charmers, there will be a paper inside that shows you a detailed look of all of the bead stacks so that you can create them on your own. I'm going to do a tutorial for this one, but if anybody's worried about the skill level, I would say definitely could be beginner at the most, intermediate. All you really need to know is how to use a head pin to create a charm. We're going to do a little wrap at the top, if you can see that. There, just a little wrap. That's it. We're going to do this one, which is just a tiny bit different, but nothing too complicated. And how to open and shut a jump ring. So you got this. You got this. I'm not worried at all. Okay, let's dive in. Your box and exactly what you're going to get in your kit. Obviously, the contents will be different based on which bracelet you purchase. Here's a bag of extra beads, just in case you want to make your own charms or add to a stack that's already there. You're going to have your head pins and jump rings. Here's all the beads that you need to create each one of the charms on the bracelet. And again, you're going to be getting a paper inside your kit that shows you the charms in detail. And then here's your vintage 70s bracelet. A couple of the tools that you're going to need for this. A round nose plier is perfect for doing head pins and creating that wrap at the top. Also, chain nose pliers are great for that, and just like tucking that end in. And then you're going to want a flex wire cutter. Actually, you would use a different wire cutter on a heavier head pin, but these are great. Get really close on your charm and cutting the end off if head pin. These are great. Okay, so I would recommend laying out your bracelet so that you can see it. Actually, let me do it the same way, and that you can have an idea of where you want to place the charms and how they're going to look. I'm going to go ahead. Obviously, I'm dumping out the beads. I'm dumping out your head pins and find your jump rings in case this is your first project. Like this is a head pin and these are super cute. Jump rings, and obviously your beads. I think what I would recommend is just kind of setting them out first in the order that you're going to make them. You get the idea. You'll have your paper. This would be your paper example. I can actually just move it to the side and we'll jump in. The other thing that you could do that would be helpful is to just open all of your jump rings at the very beginning and then they're ready to go. That can be like a big time saver. You don't need to watch me do this for all of them, but you get the idea. Notice that I have a couple of extras right here. That's okay. You might have some extras in your kit. It's totally fine. You'll actually have a bag of extras. Any extra pieces you could just put in there. Starting with this one, you would take your round nose pliers and chain nose pliers, and with a jump ring, if you can see that, you want to not try to pull it apart. You're gonna just slide it apart like that. And these are heavy little rings, so use your muscle. You know you got it. And just split it like that. Okay? You're gonna pick up your charm. And the one trick with the charm bracelet too is you want to make sure you're putting them on one side so that they all kind of go the right direction. I'm gonna skip the first one and I'm gonna attach it to the second. So once you have it in there, you're gonna keep a hold of it on the one side. You're gonna take your second plier and then you just work them back together. And like I said, those rings are super strong and so they're not going to be like coming open or anything. All right, we've done this one and now we're gonna just start building our stacks. So you just take your head pin and you build it from there. For me, I think it's almost easier to do all the things at once. So it's like I'm going to build my charms first for the ones that need to be built. Then I'm going to do all the head pins. Okay, this one is going to be special, so I'm just going to lay that there. Again, I guess I'm going to set these off. Let me put you up here. Yeah, that's just my preference on how to do it, but you can obviously do it any way your heart desires. Okay, here we go. Now, for your head pins, right? You're going to take this. You want to bend it to a 90-degree angle. Okay, 90-degree. Well, I went over. Then, because we are going to wrap it like this, you take your round nose pliers. Here we are. We're just a little bit out. You're gonna go about there, okay? Because you just roll your wrist. Roll your wrist. It's going to go like that. Then you're gonna, at least this is what I do. You may find a different technique that works for you. You wrap it around. And everybody's going to do this a little bit differently. You're going to wrap it around 2, maybe 3 times. You could either continue wrapping that around, or I can cut it off. And if you want to cut it off close, you want to use something like this, but only if you have a soft metal, okay? Because otherwise it's going to dull your cutter. There we go. I cut it off. And then I usually take a chain nose plier and go in, just kind of tuck that end in. Because you don't want anything to feel scratchy or catch. And there you go. All right, and I promise it gets easier. That is not perfect, but it's okay. We're gonna go along and then we'll add our jump rings and put them on the bracelet. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the 90 degrees. Going about there. Bending my wrist only. I just hold it and I flip my wrist around. Obviously, you'll get a feel for this of like, if you don't want to cut the head pin, then you are going to leave more room. So I did on this one to wrap that wire around more, right? So I'm just going to keep wrapping, and I left enough space so that I can do that. You're gonna get an idea of what you like the look of. If it bothers you that you're cutting some off, then just make enough space so you can wrap it around, okay? I'm just gonna cut the littlest bit, and I'm gonna tuck it in that end. And I just always feel, I give it a little feel to make sure there's nothing scratchy, there's nothing that's gonna like catch. And there you go. So this one is wrapped more. It also has a little more space. If you like it, do it that way. If you don't, do it different. I'm gonna do then this flower. So we've got these. I'm just gonna sit them here in order. We're gonna do our flower, and this is the one that is a little bit different, right? Because we're gonna wrap it around. So you're gonna put your head pin through, the bead through the flower, up to the back, and wrap it around the top one. And you want it to be really close and as tight as you can get it, because this one's not wrapping. We're just creating a little loop to put your jump ring in. So let's do it together. Here we go. I'm going to put this in, right? I'm going to put it through the flower. Bam. Just like that. Okay. I want to make sure this is tight. So I'm going to push this with my index finger, and I'm going to fold again to that 90 degrees. This is soft metal, so I'm not even going to bother with using a plier for this one, because I can just do this. I want it as tight as I can get it. So I'm just checking that. That looks good. Now, I did it at an angle. I'm going to go around that petal. Here I'm going to grab the plier just to make sure. I'm going to go as tight as I can. There. Come around back. This one I didn't have to bend to 90 degrees because it was already there. Need to, you can bend this out a little bit while you're making your ring. Okay, I want to flip it over. Then this one I am going to cut. Here we go. Or you can cut it before. That's probably a little bit long, so you can see that, like, here's this one. It's art, right? You guys, it's not perfect. So that's actually pretty close. But you want it tight, and then you want to make this ring. And I just want to try to get the end rounded out. I want to make sure I'm going to be able to get a head or a jump ring in there, and that I'm going to be able to attach it to the bracelet. So I can get the jump ring in there, no problem. This is what it looks like on the front. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to attach these others and then go ahead and attach it to make sure that we're there. Okay, so We've got this one. Let me get a jump ring. Meet your neighbor. Sometimes your pliers will get in the way, so you sometimes just have to move your pliers so that your jump ring can get in there. I prefer to use a flat nose to hold this just because it makes me feel like I have more leverage, more control. And then I use the chain nose to slide it back into place. All right, now we got this guy. I'm just gonna go ahead and start with my flat nose this time. Here's our bling bling. Attach it. Numero 3. Bam. There we go. Ta-da! So we're gonna do this guy. Actually, the one thing with this, as I'm grabbing it, it's kind of flipping around. So for this one, I guess it's just important to look at your jump ring, look at your bracelet, make sure there's not necessarily a front and back, but you want all the charms to be on the same side. Does that make sense? This side, so you're not having to flip them over, so that you know they're laying the same way. And you don't have to do it that way, but there we go. Then I just slip it in. Ooh! Don't fail me now. There we go. That is that. Okay, and then you're just gonna keep building it from there. We've got the full line up, and now we're just gonna keep attaching them. There we go. Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so there you go, start to finish. With the tutorial, with every single bead, was 3 minutes. So this is a quick project, and like, I'm sorry. How gorgeous is she? I'm just gonna put it on. I'm feeling super proud. Ah, look how cute. Like 30 minutes. You can do it. Okay. There she is. There's the original, and there's mine. I'm so excited.